Well, it feels like when you were away, it was sort of dominated by this like Drake-Kendrick thing. Atlanta kind of even got dragged in by Kendrick, which was interesting.
Yeah. He just like spoke on people's name in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. But I'm like a Drake fan.
Atlanta has been the heart of hip-hop for over 2 decades. The city that once led the culture, set trends, and created legends from Outkast to Future is now facing a quiet identity crisis. After years of unwavering loyalty to Drake, it feels like some of Atlanta's biggest names, like 21 Savage, Lil Baby, Young Thug, and others, have traded their independence for cosigns. In the aftermath of Drake's loss to Kendrick Lamar, people are starting to notice that 1, the music doesn't sound the same, 2, the hunger is fading, and 3, the innovation Atlanta was known for is starting to slow down. Was the loyalty worth it? Or has Atlanta, without realizing it, handed over the keys to its own kingdom? In this video, we're going to break down how Atlanta's close relationship with Drake might be doing more harm than good, and what it could mean for the future of one of hip-hop's most important cities. So there's always been a large level of loyalty from Atlanta rappers to Drake, or at least compared to how they treat other big artists. And part of it might be because Drake has consistently shown love to Atlanta for years. He's collaborated with artists like Future, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Gunna, and even before them with the Migos, when they were just coming up with Versace. Plus, Drake spent a lot of time in Atlanta early in his career. He wasn't just flying in and out, he was actually in the clubs, the studios, soaking up the culture, and some used to joke that he was honorary ATL. Also, Atlanta artists tend to be pretty tight-knit, but when someone from outside the city really shows up for them, boosts their careers without acting bigger than them, they remember that. Drake's given a lot of Atlanta artists major career boosts without even making it seem transactional. At the same time though, there's a bit of power dynamic. Drake is still one of the biggest names in the world, and aligning with him can be beneficial. So some of it might be loyalty, and some of it might be business too. Some examples are obviously like 21 Savage, who's probably the clearest out of all of them. Drake and 21 dropped a full collab album, Her Loss, in 2022. 21 has always speak highly of Drake in interviews, calling him a real one, and even saying that Drake helped him behind the scenes in personal ways too. We also have Lil Baby. Even though Lil Baby is one of the biggest artists on his own, he's been very vocal about Drake giving him early boosts, like on Yes Indeed in 2018. And Thugger has been cool with Drake for a long time, that's nothing new. Even when Drake was getting involved with the YSL RICO controversy by association, he never publicly distanced himself. Thug calls Drake his brother pretty often, and Drake supported Business is Business, Thug's album, from jail by doing promo for it without being asked. So he obviously has a history with supporting a lot of the rappers who have come out of Atlanta within the last 10 to 12 years. But here's why this feels different compared to normal rapper to rapper loyalty. Rappers usually turn competitive, not loyal. In hip-hop, it's common for artists to get competitive with outsiders, especially someone as big as Drake. Atlanta guys mostly don't. Even when they get huge themselves, they stay cool with him. Drake isn't from Atlanta, so it's rare for a city as proud as Atlanta to treat a non-native like one of their own. Usually ATL rappers uplift each other, but Drake gets the same hometown treatment, and that's different. And even during beefs, right, with Kanye and Drake, or even more recent with Kendrick and Drake, they've always stayed neutral, if not on Drake's side.
I fuck with Drake though, Drake my boy. Call it glazing if you want to, man. That's my brother, man. That's my big brother, man.
What was your reaction when you heard Kendrick mention you in Not Like Us? He said Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up in reference to Drake. What did you think when you heard that?
I ain't really into like that side of hip hop, so I don't really, you know.
But you and Drake always had a good relationship. I mean,
Great
Drake helped you a lot.
Great relationship.
And given all of that, this is why I feel like Drake's loyalty could possibly hurt Atlanta long term. So Atlanta's independence seems to be slipping. Historically, Atlanta's dominance in rap came from innovation. Outkast, T.I., Gucci Mane, Future, Young Thug, Migos, etc. They led the culture. They didn't follow anybody. Now, post-Drake dominance, it feels like a lot of Atlanta rappers move in reaction to Drake or wait for him to validate a sound. They're not setting trends at the same rate anymore. I'd also have to say that creativity is getting boxed in. When you're too close to an artist like Drake, who has a very specific formula, i.e. melodic hooks, sad boy rap, luxury talk, you naturally start imitating parts of it. You can hear it. Public perception is also changing, and it's not in a good way. After Kendrick obliterated Drake in their battle, A lot of fans online are clowning not just Drake, but also the people associated with him. There's now a slight side-eye at rappers like 21 Savage and Lil Baby. People are starting to call them Drake's sidekicks rather than the standalone legends that they are. It makes Atlanta look weaker in the eyes of the hardcore rap community, which is a dangerous shift for a city that once was the standard. It also appears to be aging badly in real time. Because they're stuck so close to Drake's sound and blueprint, many of these Atlanta rappers are aging faster in the public ear. Of course, we have Future and Metro Boomin, which they have obviously collaborated on many tracks before, and they've had their issues on and off many times over the years, but as of recently, they had collaborated on Like That, which ignited the whole Drake versus Kendrick beef. After Like That dropped and the beef exploded, Future and Metro went silent. No major public backing of Kendrick, no showing up on Kendrick's side visually or musically afterward. In fact, Future and Metro even said in interviews after that they didn't even know Kendrick was going to diss Drake on the song, which honestly feels unbelievable given how massive the diss was and how carefully these albums were created. Now Future and Metro are almost pretending like That was just a regular record, even though it shifted the whole rap world. So to me, it looks like they're protecting relationships, right? Specifically with Drake and Drake's allies, because Metro and Drake have worked together before, and Future and Drake have joint project history. Future could have fully leaned into being the new kingmaker alongside Kendrick, but instead he's backing away, keeping it safe and staying quiet. This silence looks a little weird in my opinion, because it's a clear example of Atlanta's stars being afraid to stand on their own without Drake's approval. Even with Young Thug now on bail, he has limitations to what he can actually discuss and speak about on his album. So now that is going to limit his sound. I do have faith in Thug to actually produce a good body of work. But even now, just based on where the overall scene is in Atlanta, there's a lot of things hindering their sound compared to where they were just 6-7 years ago. And finally, they may get caught in the Drake decline. If Drake's reign is really winding down after the Kendrick battle, then any artist tied too closely to him could fall with him. Atlanta was never supposed to be attached to one man's fate. It was supposed to be an unstoppable machine that made its own kings. Atlanta's loyalty to Drake isn't just about music. It's about how easily a culture can be influenced when it stops leading and starts following. And now, post-Kendrick battle, the cracks are starting to show. Some of Atlanta's brightest stars sound stuck, trapped in a sound that doesn't hit like it used to. The energy that once made Atlanta the innovators of hip-hop is being replaced by safe moves and recycled formulas. But here's the truth. Atlanta doesn't need Drake. It never did. The city built its empire by taking risks, breaking rules, and pushing the culture forward, not by clinging to another man's legacy. If Atlanta wants to stay on top, it's time to get back to what made it powerful in the first place: originality, leadership, and fearlessness. Otherwise, the next great wave of hip-hop might not come from Atlanta. It just might come from somewhere else.